Hi, welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm back. This is an intuitive reading. Welcome in if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Let me just adjust the sound a little bit. So, let's see what Spirit has to say. The first cards that I pulled were these, which I pulled before we, before I turned on the camera. And the message here talks to me about, to me, I get this vibe of communicating with Spirit here. There's the seer of nature. So for some of you, there's this thing where if you are, connecting to nature, being outside, being very grounded, working with, being very authentic with your energy. Some of you might be working with herbs, nurturing gardens, and where I live, that's, it's kind of like the wrong season for that, it's fall. But nevertheless, there's something here about growing something, and of course it can be metaphorically that you are in a process in your life of trying to be more connected to Spirit, be more grounded, be more, more loving with the way that you communicate with your guides, with your higher self, with, there's this thing here with your heart, and there's, at the bottom of the deck here is see things clearly. So it's kind of like, I get the feeling of you creating this new way of communicating, kind of working towards a more abundant way of being in connection with Spirit, perhaps stepping onto a path that you have intuitively known for a while was for you, but not really being able to kind of claim it, to call it in, to, make it appear in the physical world kind of thing. But there's a shift, with the shift card here, there's definitely a shift occurring. I'm going to put that over here. And this spiritual cleansing, it doesn't talk to me so much about the need to protect your energy and that type of thing, which is often the vibe I get with this card. But here it's more like it's you clearing out your own energetic field from disturbances and interferences, old patterns, old beliefs, all of that stuff, to kind of walk with Spirit in a new, more grounded way. I don't know what this is yet, but you must be creating something. The past life card came up here, which tells me that for most of you, this is something that you have with you from a previous life. So it's kind of like, oh, well, my light did something there. So there's something about light here, but this energy, having it with you from a previous life, from it I get the feeling of kind of like returning home, returning to center, returning to a place, a way of being in the world where I've been before. And this, if this is your reading, this will somehow resonate with you. You may not know what it is, but it'll resonate on a deeper level that, yes, there's something here that I need to, and when I say need, it's not like the outside world putting a need on, but it's kind of like an inner calling in you, something telling you, I need to walk towards this path, or, follow my heart more, being more somehow loving and creative, or, being in the world in a different way. Feels like with less obstacles, in the sense that less things that we put on ourselves, less things that, other people judge us with and that type of thing. It's like, nope, I'm cleaning house, I'm literally cleaning up my energy field. I'm not gonna want to carry that type of thing with me, other people's judgment of what I do or don't do, how I should be, shouldn't be, all of that. I am moving towards being more in flow with myself. So, all right, let's see, what's the challenge here, Spirit? So, and as always, if this resonates with you, I would really appreciate it if you would give the video a thumbs up. Perhaps subscribe to my channel. You know, write me a message, whatever feels right for you. All right, so there's a challenge here. The Seven of Wands here talks about putting up boundaries or kind of feeling like you need to protect your energy. And it's interesting because with this card, as I said, it's not really that I feel. Normally this card would be like, okay, I need to clean out my space. I need to clean out my energetic field and put up these boundaries. But with the Ace of Cups here, my feeling with it is it's from a more loving point of view than it would normally be. And that love is geared towards you. It's like there's more self-love here. Yes, you have boundaries, but it's like you've moved your attention away from them to it being, let's see, how can I explain this? It's kind of like boundaries used to be something you had to focus very much on putting up. You know, you kind of like had to keep your guard up. You have to, be kind of felt like you might have to be prepared for other people's attacks, in a sense of, other people coming at you with their views on things and that type of thing. I don't mean like little physical attacks. And now it's like you're kind of trying to move away from that and just be more in flow with yourself. Kind of in the sense that I am going to block all of that out, just not worry about it. Just set a permanent boundary that's like, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, this is how I'm grounded in the world, this is, how I'm trying to manifest abundance in my life. From a place of, I don't have to always defend myself. I stand grounded in love, in respect for myself, with a firm conviction that my essence is love, kind of. I hope this makes sense for you guys. It's kind of not a strange energy, because it feels good. It feels very grounded, very like, but of course, since this is in the challenge position, this has not been easy to get to this point. And depending on where you're at the timeline, you're not quite there yet. But intuitively, this is what you're working towards. To be able to stand with your boundaries, not, pushing people away, not constantly having to, put these boundaries down, but just kind of emanating an energy that tells people up front, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, don't mess with me type of energy, but in a loving way, towards the world. There's a lot of feeling of kindness here. I love that word. It's like you can disagree with people, but you can still be kind. There's a lot of things that you can do and still be kind, acting in the world from a kind point of view, seeing the other person for being, human, with all the wounding, all the conditioning, all the stuff that comes, but from a kind point of view. All right, tell me more about this. And this, with this past life card here, this to me feels like this is your natural state of being. Well, your soul, so yeah, of course, but also like you have mastered this in a previous life. It's been like you came to that place in a previous life, and now it's like you're intuitively being called back to that place in yourself. Tell me more about the challenge with it. The Tower. Can I know more, Spirit? All right. Yeah, here's the Tower and the Page of Pentacles. In this deck, he's, full armored up, very much protective, very much kind of like guarding his own energy, his own space, his own... My feeling with this is that it's like all of a sudden, boom, almost from one, moment to the other, something shifts in you. And if that I don't know what's going to, if it's some sort of spiritual download, some epiphany that you have, an aha moment, whatever it is, something that is like shifting you away from this armored thing here to this thing that, yes, you have boundaries here, but you are not, you're not feeling the need to put up, the whole armor and just kind of stand there and defending yourself, not letting anybody, anything come close. This has been a process, but there is a change here. Whatever this is for you, there's some like significant change in the way that you see yourself, in the way that you feel the need to protect yourself. It's like you kind of, walking away from this feeling of needing to constantly be on guard, constantly be like, well, I don't know what the world is going to show me. I don't know what's, going to come up here, to this magician energy where you are much more like, instead of putting your focus on guarding your energy, you're just kind of like being clear, hearing with your heart, seeing things clearly, having this positive outlook on things, and being very grounded, just kind of like, I am my boundaries. My boundaries are me. It's a natural part of me. I don't have to constantly like, put up a sign that says, here are my boundaries, don't, da, da, da. It's like, no, it's just who you are. So you're letting go of this feeling of needing to be in this very protective mode, and you become more friendly. That might be a weird word. I'm not saying you have not been a friendly person until now, but it's like you step into a more, again, kind energy with this. Tell me more about this, Spirit. Yeah, the universe. There's an ending and a beginning of a brand new chapter here. What brings that on, though? Can we know that? What brings this on, Spirit? For some of you, this has already happened, and for others, it's kind of like right there in the ethers. Temperance. You somehow find more balance within yourself. It's like, and I honestly think for most of you, this is going to be some sort of epiphany, some sort of, you've been on a healing journey, and all of a sudden, you wake up one day, you see something somewhere, you hear something, or you just know that something has shifted. It's like, out of the blue, you know how to balance. I know that sounds weird, but that's literally the feeling I'm getting with this. Dreams coming true here when I split the deck. It's like all of a sudden you find your inner balance. You become, the magician. You connect to that part of yourself. I don't know, can you guys? This lighting is, I didn't help that it moved. So let's see here. Yeah, that's better. You kind of find, I don't know, your inner balance, your inner way of being in the world that's more balanced, much more balanced than what you have been in the past, in the sense of putting up boundaries. I feel if this resonates with you, you really have for a very long time lived in an energy of feeling like you always had to put up your boundaries. You kind of always had to somewhat be, ready for someone to, I don't know, spring something on you, or, there's been this underlying feeling of just the need to always have boundaries. Perhaps for some of you it's been because there has been a part of you that hasn't really been sure that you would be able to keep the right boundaries. If someone, did come at you in some way, you might have been unsure about how strong, can I actually say no to this if somebody, asked me to do something that I really would rather not do. You might have had a little bit of people pleasing, that type of thing, and for a long time have been trying to overcome that and be more kind to yourself, this hearing with your heart, learning to say no when you mean no, yes when you mean yes, that type of thing. Yeah. What don't we see coming here, Spirit? And there's the light again. That is just so weird. I don't know why it does that. It's been sitting fine for a very long time, and all of a sudden it's like, nope. Every time I say something, it just has an opinion about it. Yeah, here's the star, the healing. So you have healed something in yourself. You may not even be aware of on the very depth of this level of healing that you have actually done, but you have healed something very significant within yourself that is now moving. I'm just cleaning up over here. That is now, I don't know, opening up a new space. Yeah, shrink. It's like whatever it is that you have done, you have healed something on a very, very deep level, and now you're standing in your strength, not in a, combative type of way, just come at me type, but in a very calm, very cool, collected way. It's like, I am me, I have my boundaries, this is what I'm all about, this is what I would like to, create in the world, that type of thing. Tell me a little bit more about that, Spirit. What don't the viewers see coming here? Five of Swords. One more, Spirit. Here's the Hermit. Some of you might have been, in hermit mode for a while and kind of taking the time out, reviewing your life, regrounding yourself, kind of been in this transitional mode. Yeah, here's the Page of Cups, which in this deck, see how he's sitting there meditating, looking in, or it's kind of going like, what is, connecting to his guides. Here's the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups. So you're leaving behind some sort of defeat. It's almost like, it feels like you've been through a really rough time. There's been lots of heartache. There's been, someone has disappointed you or something has disappointed you. And it's felt like, you had to be very combative with this Five of Swords. It's been like, like I said, you felt for a long time that you constantly had to stand on your boundaries, keep reinforcing them, keep, all of that. But now it's like, here's the Two of Wands, a new plan, looking to the future in a new way. And again, I don't know, something happens or has happened, depending on where you are on the timeline. I actually think most of you are either right where this is occurring, or, it's already happened for you. But you have definitely healed some aspect in yourself that has felt like, I just have to defend myself or defend my boundaries. You might have done some inner child healing. You might have, I don't know, done some sort of healing here that has literally moved you away from this defensive energy into a more, I'm taking steps into the world now as the soul that I am, the person that I am. And you are drawing this strength with the Strength card here from this previous life. You may not know that or be aware of it, but that is what you're doing. It's kind of like there's some sort of karmic release that has happened here that has connected you to who you used to be and the inner strength that you used to have, which is kind of like an unapologetic being you type of energy. And with the World card here, it's definitely that cycle is over. So, yeah. All right, Spirit. Can we get some advice? Very beautiful energy. Some advice here, Spirit. One more. Whoa, okay. That's a little much. I think we'll take the bottom one and leave the rest, because that's like, yeah, see, that's it. You know, here's the Ten of Swords, which, you know, the tens are about endings. This can be cycles in your life, karmic cycles, perhaps, that has been going on for a very long time. For some of you, might lifetimes. But it's definitely over. The tens are ending. That's it. It's not, you know, there's no coming back from this. So whatever it is, a pattern, a belief, a way of being in the world, a connection, you know, that has impacted you, whatever it is, it's done. And here's the Three of Wands. This is you looking to the future, seeing, you know, life in a new, you know, from a new point of view. Here's the Page of Cups. The key word on this card here, they have dreams. So this is about you manifesting, you know, a life that is much more aligned with what you're dreaming about, much more aligned with who you are on a deeper level. Here's the Ace of Swords, you know, seeing things clearly, seeing what it is you want. And the Empress energy here. This is you manifesting, calling in the things that you want. The Emperor, you know, is an energy of, you know, calling in things to her life. She doesn't go looking for things. She's calling them to come to her. And perhaps that's what has shifted for you, that you used to be very much in a, I have to work really hard for this, or I have to, you know, bend myself into all kinds of weird shapes to fit into whatever it is. And something has shifted here where you're realizing, no, there's much more flow in being who I am and then watching what is coming towards me. What is that energy of being me, all of me, going to attract into my life? Yeah. So this is beautiful energy. Very, very beautiful energy. So, yeah. King of Cups here, you know, lots of love, lots of being, you know, connected and wisdom, that type of thing. So, yeah, beautiful energy. So, yeah, if this resonates with you, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel, and, you know, I hope this is useful for you somehow. But, yeah, again, most of you have either just gone through this or it's like right on the threshold of doing so and reconnecting to, you know, a part of you that comes from ancient wisdom, something that you've carried with you for many lifetimes, and now it's like you're returning to center, you know, returning to authenticity. So, very beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and big, big love.